Greetings. Welcome to Film Gazers, a podcast focusing on the science fiction, horror, fantasy trinity, and 20th century entertainment. I'm Steph.
I'm Jess. We're cousins slash besties. Join us as we reminisce, discuss, and review films from our childhood.
Meowdy.
Meowdy.
We are in the throes of summer.
It's been hot as balls.
Yes, it has been incredibly freaking hot. Just the humidity is killing me. I just walk outside and I instantly have a sweat mustache.
It is like breathing through a wet wash rag.
It is, yes, like someone is trying to suffocate me with a
it's
wet
like being
rag.
waterboarded when you walk outside.
We are in that part of Florida summer. So
yes. Which leads us into our next theme for August.
Yes, the dog days of summer. That's a perfect segue from Big Blue Wet Thing.
I agree.
So before we announce our August picks, what have you been watching? What have you been doing?
I have been still working on my art project that I mentioned last time.
Noise.
You know, just a little bit at a time here and there at night.
And I have to say, the little tidbits, sneak peeks you've been giving me, you're definitely getting better already with Procreate too. Like,
Thank you.
Like doing the digital, kind of drawing and coloring, really the coloring too. Like that was what was really cool seeing you like add the highlights and, kind of the, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess the color scheme or, whatever you're working with.
More of like the contrast and can't think of the word right now either.
I know.
Yes.
I know. I'm like, it's Saturday morning. I'm tired. Basically, though, just I like the recoloring you were doing. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So that's been a lot of fun. Just learning Procreate has been fun. Every time I use it, I'm like, I didn't know that. Because sometimes it's hard for me to like watch a tutorial on something. I'm like, I just have to play around in it and like learn myself.
It's certain things. I remember when I was learning Photoshop, I would watch certain tutorials more so of understanding that component, but I wouldn't necessarily do the tutorial of like how they were using it, I guess. If that makes sense.
It's like when I read a recipe, I'm like, I just need to know the ingredients. I don't need the instructions.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've been still doing that. Last night, me and Mom watched Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Oh, it's been a very long time since I've seen it, but I vaguely remember it. And it was pretty like zany, right?
There was so much shit that I forgot about that I was like, damn, it's a little dark. Like I remembered it being kind of dark, but
no, it's
not
like
to the extent.
Kind of fucked up, right? Like,
yeah, it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
And I was like, they said the R word so much in that movie throughout. And the guy from Mad TV was the one playing the special needs person.
Oh my God. I don't even remember that part.
I don't either. I was like, I have no memory of that. I was like, I do remember the shellfish scene when she was the only one that didn't get sick because she didn't eat shellfish.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Vaguely. Yeah,
said,
vaguely.
She's like, Mama said never to eat anything that carries its home around inside of it or what, something like that. So she won by default because of that.
Oh, that's funny.
That was funny. Yeah. But all the other shit, I was like, I have no memory of this. So it was pretty good still to watch that. And then I've been watching Midsomer Murders on Tubi, like an old lady.
How appropriate.
It's very soothing and like comforting in the background.
Nice. That reminds me that I think I mentioned to Andrew where I was like, you know what? I want to find Murder, She Wrote.
It's on Tubi.
Is it? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to start picking that up again, like, randomly. I haven't watched it since I was a kid. And I feel like that would be such a good like summer mystery watch.
Yes, because I picked it up a while ago, was doing the same thing, like here and there. I was watching an episode. And Angela Lansbury, I thought she was like old as shit in Murder, She Wrote.
She's really not, isn't she?
No, in the beginning of like in the title, like what is that called? The opening, like title.
Yeah, the credits,
The
opening,
credits,
yeah,
the opening
intro,
credits,
yeah,
intro, whatever. She's like jogging.
yeah, yeah. That's what I remember.
I don't remember that. She's like jogging and like doing shit, and I was like, she's probably like 40.
Yeah, I feel like she was only maybe in her 50s, like early 50s, even
Maybe.
if that.
But I was like, damn, that it's so eye opening when you get older.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I ain't that old.
That's so funny. Yeah, I've been also very much like an old lady. I have not watched a movie since we did Sphere. Not one
Like
single
2
one.
weeks.
Yeah. So mainly I've just been doing like Criminal Minds, Evolution, and SVU kind of in between. Just nothing
Oh,
but
Criminal
murder.
Minds is Evolution is the name.
Yes, yeah, the new.
I
It's
haven't
like
watched that one yet.
the new series. Yeah, it's much like darker, and they say fuck a lot.
Ooh.
Yes.
Does it still
Seeing-
have Spencer Reed in it?
No, Spencer is not in it. He's supposed to be like on sabbatical, so you just don't see him. But Rossi's there. Tara,
Rossi's
JJ.
still there?
Yeah, Rossi is going like, and I don't know. I love Rossi. I've also been watching King of the Hill in my, my little before bed cartoons that I like to
Nice.
do sometimes. Pretty much, I've just been watching like comfort stuff, and I've been reading Aka War, the Court of Wings and Ruin, the third book of the series. And I'm getting through it a little faster than the others, I think, because it's finally kind of coming to a head a little bit. So I'm also just wanting to get it over with.
Is that the end of the series? How many books are there?
I think there's like 5, and I think she is still writing them. But I think like the main kind of plot with the character Fair, like the main character, it all happens within these 3 books. And I think the 4th book is just like a smaller add-on that's just, I think it's more of the romance like part between her and her dude. And then the 5th book apparently is basically the events of books 1 through 3, but from the eyes of her sister Nesta.
Okay.
As told from her. So yeah.
Yeah,
I know. That's why I'm like, I'm just trying to get through it. Everyone tells me the 5th book is the one that I would probably like, because everyone says I'd probably like Nesta's character better than the main character. And she's supposed to be like a fucking bitch. And I'm like, of course I'm gonna like that character more. Duh.
I want to read, what is it called? Throne of Glass, I think, is the one written by the same author.
Everybody
says that one's really good.
Yeah, that was the one my coworker, like, she was the one who recommended these because she was like obsessed with them. And I was like, I'm not a big romance reader. Like, it's just really not my genre, like, personally, but I started it anyway because I was like, oh, something different. I'll give romance a chance. Like, I'm not like completely against it.
Give romance a chance.
I just like I said, more comedic ones is all. But yeah, she was like, no, she was like, I really wish now. She was like, I would have told you to start the other series, because she was like, it's just way more fantasy based, and romance isn't really part of the main plot in any way. I was like, yeah, that probably would have been better for me. Probably would have been. Yeah. No, it's fine. I'll get through the series, and I'll probably take a break for a very long time from her. I'm not particularly fond of her writing style, like, I don't think it's bad. I'm just not like, oh, this is so good, for me personally. But I can see the appeal. Like, I mean, she's written a very fleshed out world, her world building is on point. You can tell she is a fantasy reader, herself, for sure. So
yeah, I was enjoying the 2nd book. I just had to take a break just because I've been busy doing other things because of kittens. Yeah. Nobody adopted the kittens, by the way.
No,
I still got all 4 of them. So listeners,
you would like to adopt a kitten, contact us on Instagram.
Please.
Yeah, I've been busy with our Etsy business, has been doing really well.
Nice.
For shameless self-promotion, I guess, we are Laserface Engraving on Etsy. And we had quite a few orders yesterday, and I was working on a prototype this past week, doing like some sun catchers. I'm very proud of it. I can't wait to I'm going to factory line it, make a couple, and just put them on there and see if anyone else likes them. Mm-hmm. But I was very proud of it. The stain, I found like a teal and like this place that does colored stains, and it was just so bright. Like, it came out so well. So I'm very excited. I got ideas, man. Yeah, got some ideas.
We got no lack of ideas.
Just
it's
the time and the energy.
Time that we have the lack of. I am the energy after doing my fucking job that I have to pay the bills with. Yep. Barely.
I know. I get it.
Bullshit.
Well, that's what we've been up to, guys. Enough ramblings. As we said, we're going to get into August, and that will be the dog days of summer. And let's share what you picked.
I picked Black Dog with Patrick Swayze.
I have never seen this movie.
What? I don't think I have all the time.
Unless I saw it at your house and I just don't, like remember the name of it.
He's a semi truck driver.
It sounds kind of familiar, but I think I was getting that confused with Roadhouse, maybe. Now that you said he's a semi driver, it vaguely sounds familiar. But again, I think I only maybe saw it at your house.
1998. That was the year it came out.
Oh, later too. Yeah.
Yeah. I watched it all the time.
I picked out Cujo.
Classic.
Yes, which was one of my childhood favorites.
Yes. I wasn't a huge fan of it because I loved St. Bernards as a kid and really, really wanted one. So things happening to dogs in movies like really upset me when I was a kid.
Oh yeah. I don't know why I was drawn to this one. I think it was just because my aunt who watched me a lot when I was little, like she watched it a lot with me and she'd be like, oh, you want to watch Cujo? I'm like, hell yeah. So, I don't know. And I love Beethoven. So.
Right. You're like Beethoven.
It was a big juxtaposition, I guess, but I was into it. So yeah, what better for dog days of summer than being trapped in a hot car from a dog?
Yeah, exactly. A hot, sweaty car in the dog days of summer.
Yeah.
Being trapped in a semi, seeing imaginary dogs.
Yeah. So yeah, really, really on theme. I think we did a good job with that. So stay tuned for that. In this episode, we watched 2020's Underwater.
Underwater?
It was directed by William Eubank. The screenplay was by Brian Duffield and Adam Kozad. The story was Brian Duffield. Produced by Peter Taryn, Tanya Davis, Jenno Topping. Starring Kristen Stewart, Vincent Castle, Jessica Henwick, John Gallagher Jr., Mahmoudou Athie, and TJ Miller. Cinematography was by Bojan Bazelli. It was edited by Todd E. Miller, Brian Burden, and William Hoy. That's a lot of editors. Usually you only kind of see one or two. Music was by Marco Beltrami and Brandon Roberts. And it was released January 10th, 2020. The running time for this was 95 minutes, right at that sweet spot. The budget was about 50 to 65 million, but the box office was only 40.9, which I mean...
Well, January is kind of an odd time for a movie to come out.
Yeah, it is, especially like this kind of horror.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Down to the fun facts. I actually watched a hour-long YouTube video. I think it was released by Fox about the making of this film. It was very interesting. I kind of fast forwarded through some of it. I didn't watch the entire hour, but I got through enough to get some really cool fun facts. And I do recommend watching it if you want to know more about how they made this movie. It was filmed in New Orleans in a old massive Lowe's.
Nice.
Yeah, it was still left over from one of the hurricanes, was being damaged and basically wasn't in use anymore. It was just completely empty. So they were able to use that and build all of the sets and have the mills and the carpentry area. Basically it was all able to be in this one location. And then it went from, of course, concept art all the way to, and it's so cool nowadays, with our technology, they essentially from the concept art and then making all the sketches and then building these CG kind of representations to where they make a whole freaking, basically it's like a video game. They did a whole virtual reality video of the sets so they could actually feel like they're physically in there and they could see it, in relation to their own height and stuff. Yeah, it was very cool to see them build sets that way, that it was all virtual, sure. And, with today's, conversation about AI and CG, there's a way where you're like, oh, well, they could have just like CG'd and rendered all of that stuff better. But instead, they like really made these sets that look straight out of the concept art in the video games this way. I mean, to like precision.
Yeah.
So it was just really cool. They also had like underwater tanks, and because they still had to have certain scenes and sets that had real water. The coolest part about this movie is how they were able to get away with making an underwater film without actually shooting anything underwater.
Hmm.
Yeah, so they called it what they called it the they used an expression where it was like the dry wet method or something, or dry water method, or shooting. So basically to prove that they could do it this way, they of course made like this mini kind of movie presentation to show to Fox. I think they had one day of shooting, but it was a lot of pre-planning and post, kind of stuff. And that was how they were like making the water effect. And so it was like they're making like the particulates and silt, things that you would see like in moving, like ruffled up water, basically, churning around and from the seafloor, and adding the filters and the lighting, what have you. And then they even said at one point when they're first like working on it that it looked a little too spacey, and then even the people, they were like the CG kind of characters they're doing to show how they can like marry it all together look a little too bouncy, a little too like anti-gravity. They're like, no, this is pressure. They're in suits, that weigh a lot. Like, so they finally got it down to where they can overlay this effect. As long as the acting and the stuff within it that they're recording kind of all meshes together, it can just look like it's underwater.
Yeah. And it did.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool. And then the director even was said he called it volumetric scanning. So that way they still shot it like the flashlights on them and stuff was like part of the lighting, basically. Like that was real light used in the scenes, like all their little light gear that's on their suits. And they like recorded it in the very like small confined like set pieces, like within it in the dark, like, and then they just had very strategic lighting set up to give you more of that underwater, look or feel. And then on top of that, like in the back, they had these like little red dot lights and all this stuff kind of in the background. So basically when they're a post, that's the depth perception they need to apply all the physics and the water stuff and make it look like they're actually underwater.
Damn, that's like
there was, when I watched this, I was like, holy shit, like this movie was very intense to make.
Like, so you needed an astrophysicist, you needed the crew from Sphere to make this movie.
There was a lot of obviously a lot of CG work with it being the water is completely CG, but they were able to marry that so well with practical effects. Like the set pieces were actually built. The suits they're wearing are actually the suits, Yeah. It was very cool.
I love that.
Yeah. And then also, of course, a big part of this movie is the like claustrophobia. So the extreme close-ups were shot with a lens that Panavision made for them, and it was a 14 millimeter without distortion. So that's how they were able to get that kind of like really close-up scene, like you were in the helmet with her. Yeah. So, and then also when they were filming it again in the underwater parts, like where they're actually walking on the seafloor and everything, the helmets didn't actually have glass in them for those shots. Those were actually added post-production. So that way you could still get, all the acting and everything you needed. The only glass ones they wore was when they were like actually taking them off and, like inside carrying them around and everything. And so speaking of the diving suits, they weighed about 140 pounds.
Oh my God.
Kristen Stewart was interviewed and she's like, I weigh 110. And she was like, so then they were like, hey, run. And she was like, I couldn't physically run in this. Like, she was like, I literally can like, lift up one leg at a time. So how they were able to accomplish a little more, especially for like the petite, like the women who, like I said, probably weigh less than these suits weigh. They had like wire work also connected for a lot of the outside water scenes because that gave them the resistance they needed to make it, appear like they were actually walking through water.
Yeah, buoyancy.
Yes, because the actors really had to take into account of like, hey, you can't do jerky motions, like nothing like that. You have to move as slow as possible. Like, you're supposed to be under there. So Stewart was said of the filming, it was horrible. It was one of the worst things I've experienced in my life. You're usually not super encouraged to talk about that because you don't want to imply that the movie is also horrendous. But I think in this case, I can say that I almost died making this movie. The director even was stated that she actually really doesn't like water. She doesn't even know how to swim, I think.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, she's like terrified of water. She doesn't like underwater. So she took it as a challenge and to push herself, into being like, hey, I have this natural fear already. So, she's like, I'm pretty sure I can give you what you need,
Right. It'll look real. I can promise you that.
Exactly. Some of the other actors did at least train a little bit with diving just to kind of, I think, experience what underwater feels like, and it gave them what they needed, frame of reference for their acting. But Kristen Stewart decided to take it the opposite way, and she didn't train or do anything at all. So that way her fear would be more evident in her character. Which I was like, that's a cool creative choice too, how the different actors took their approaches. And now to the big baddies. So originally they were drawn, pretty much all the inspiration in the beginning, the director said, was like just actual deep sea creatures that all look fucking terrifying. He was like, he's like, we could add just a quarter of what actually exists in underwater and the movie's still going to be scary. But as everything progressed, it became more and more like the Cthulhu monster. It didn't start out that way though. It was just really what people, the behemoth, like the Godzillas and the, that kind of almost, I guess, genre, if you will. So he just had this
feature.
Yeah, of like a behemoth, like, kaiju, almost like in the crust of the earth, kind of deep godlike almost creature. And then the more and more they're all taking this, the more and more he's like, you know what, let's just make it freaking Cthulhu. Like it's going to be the old one. So that, of course, kind of also influenced when they were doing the smaller creatures. They're similar to in the Lovecraftian mythology, known as like the deep ones, which I guess in that lore, they're usually a little more peaceful with humans. But since they're actually serving like the big one, they're on a mission.
I liked how there were like lampreys on a
shark
too.
Yes. It was pretty interesting how they presented it, because I even in the very beginning I was like, oh shit, these look like mind flayers, because I've been playing like Baldur's Gate, so it's like and they're like squid like monsters, kind of like Cthulhu almost, like so I thought that was cool. And the director did basically confirm the ending. A lot of people had speculations of if he could even be destroyed, like if it's actually Cthulhu, Cthulhu is like a god, like a fucking cosmic horror type thing. And so he does say like, yeah, basically, no, he couldn't die. Like he could never truly die. Like maybe they just, she discouraged him and got her friends away. But it's not like she ended the whole fiasco, and because a lot of people, but he still said he wanted it kind of left open to interpretation when they actually made it. So those were the fun facts. I had a lot of fun learning about this one.
I had a lot of fun with those fun facts.
I did. I really enjoyed myself. So the video was very well done. The interviews were well. I also got a lot of this from a couple of different websites, /film.com, as well as Screen Rant and some IMDb, and again, the YouTube video. So definitely check it out if you like this movie, or, kind of into the special effects and stuff. Like it was really cool to see the behind the scenes. So with that, Jess is going to take it away with the Googled summary.
Googled summary. After an earthquake destroys their underwater drilling facility, Nora and a group of survivors must make their way across the ocean floor, battling crushing pressure, lack of oxygen, and, Cthulhu. Proof that the Mariana Trench is nature's way of saying, mind ya business, bitch.
Bravo. That was a great one.
Thanks.
It's a good summary. You really summed it up right.
All the important players were there.
So I had never seen this one. So we'll do expectations for me and memories for you. What did you recollect about this one?
I remembered liking it when I watched it. I don't think I watched it in 2020. It was probably like just a couple of years ago.
Okay.
When I watched it for the first time. And I remember the anxiety. I remember the Cthulhu. I remember Kristen Stewart in her underwear a
yes.
lot.
Yes, that was a lot.
So it definitely gave me like Aliens, vibes. Like she was giving off Sigourney Weaver.
It really, yeah, I felt like that was almost like a
intentional.
Yes.
I dug it. I was here for it. I liked it. But yeah, so I didn't remember a whole lot of I remembered like I knew like somebody's face blew up like in their suit because of the pressure.
Yeah.
I remember that part. That was a good one. And that was pretty much it. I didn't remember, like every detail, but
ins and outs. Yeah.
Just ins and outs, and it held up to my yeah, it was still very intense watching it.
Yeah. My expectations were a little different because I had just never heard of this.
And I know you weren't looking forward to it.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, Kristen Stewart. No, she was great in it. Like, like
I told you she's not like in Twilight and every other movie.
Oh, I know. It was just I've only seen her, I think, in Twilight, and then I think it was that Adventureland. And I just didn't like that movie, I think, that much. So that might be why. So yeah, no, she was good in this. So my expectations were, maybe not enjoying the acting, possibly, especially knowing in my head, I thought it was more of just like all action. Like I didn't think there was any horror elements to this. I thought this was going to be a more
the Meg.
Yeah, the facility's just like going down, like for whatever like non-creature reason. And I thought it was going to be more of them surviving in the facility itself. Kind of like, oh, we got to get to the lifeboats. Like I'm imagining Titanic just underwater.
Okay.
Kind of, like, but all action.
Yeah.
So and then like as we're watching it, I'm like, oh, this is a little darker, like, and then I'm like, oh, like, because they're kind of the horror elements are kind of there a little earlier, and then I was like, wait, is this about monsters? And then I got kind of excited.
You're like, this is a creature feature?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, damn, okay. So it
pleasantly surprised you.
Yeah, pleasantly surprised me.
I knew once you watch it, you'd like it. I was like, I'm not going to say anything about it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you didn't give me any heads up of like what it was about, other than underwater or whatever. And even when I like looked it up and had it, to stream or whatever, I saw that little summary, but I didn't really read much of it. I didn't like expand it and read all of it. I just made sure I just saw like underwater facility, and I'm like, okay, like deep mind drilling, like, oh, something's gonna go wrong and they have to survive. And like I said, pleasantly surprised. So I guess with that, we'll just get into it. It has a very like Seven intro, like the movie Seven, like, like where it's like the collage, like, or almost like X-Files.
I love that more than an info dump, though.
Me too. That's what I was going to say. I was like, I love these kinds of intros because you glean the information you need without it just being like somebody talking and telling you.
Yes, I don't need that or narration. Like, give me snippets of articles. Let me like gather it for myself.
Yes,
and I thought they did a good job with it, explaining where you were at this moment in time. Because
it even alludes to the creature early on in that little part. Like, if you hadn't have been paying attention. Because even and then I was like, oh, it says there was a article that says weird creature in this. I was like, oh, my assumption of the plot seems to be wrong.
Yeah.
And I was like, so maybe this is more horror. All right.
All right.
They show the facility and it immediately kind of looked like Deep Space Nine to me.
That's funny. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah. I mean, it probably doesn't, but in my head, that's like
that's what Deep Space Nine is.
That's what it made me think of. And it's pretty much action packed right from the get go.
That's what I like about it. There's no like build up. It's just on.
Yes. Yeah. It is no holds bar pretty much from the beginning. We get the slowest scene that you're ever going to get in this movie. of her like brushing her teeth, basically
Getting ready for her shift.
Yeah, getting ready for her shift or whatever. She's talking about how, you don't have day or night. So you're just kind of awake or in a dream, basically, is how she's describing it. So already you're kind of live a weird, lifestyle, obviously. Fucking down in the Mariana Trench.
Yeah.
And immediately the leak just starts, fucking water busts open and she's just immediately running, like she's basically in her underoos and barefoot and having to just run for her life. One other person basically makes it with her through this one area. Shit gets fucked up. We do glean enough information that she's a mechanical engineer. So that is kind of her little slot, her lot in life in this.
Her slot in life.
The slot she fills for this team. And then the other guy, I don't know what he was. I think his name was Rodrigo, I believe is what his character's name was. But basically, then they're working together. Along the way, they do find another guy who was covered up by rocks, but he ended up being okay or whatever. Rocks are like concrete, I guess. From the
Little
facility.
Paul. Or Paul.
Paul.
Little Paul was his bunny or whatever.
Yes, yeah. And they kind of show, he's supposed to have this like weird relationship with a bunny. And the whole time you're like, is it real? Because like the way I felt like they never really showed it. But in the end, you find out it's just like a stuffed animal. Yeah. Which I feel like there should have been. I feel like there was supposed to be more backstory that maybe they possibly cut to where we don't know why it's significant to him.
Yeah.
Unless it's his kid or something. It's his kid's rabbit. I don't know.
It was called Little Paul. So it was like named after him.
I know. Yes, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I have no idea. It's one of those movies where they are trying to give you some character development, but really that's not the whole point, of this movie. Is not the character development. It's more of what the fuck these characters are going through and being subjected to. A lot of tight spaces. Yeah, right in the beginning, they're having to get through basically, an entire just fucked up facility that certain things are caved in, and when they're going through like that little tiny thing and having to like crawl on their stomach and get through, like that scene was very just anxiety inducing.
Yes, that got my heart racing because I wrote, nope, worst nightmare. Yeah. Like I'd like, save yourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll just wait to implode. It's fine.
I know. I know. As I thought about this, because I agree with Kristen Stewart. I don't like being like, I don't want to be in that kind of underwater. Like, I don't want to do any deep sea, nothing. Like, I'm good. Like, no. I'm good. So these three people do end up surviving through this ordeal to get to where they believe is where the pods are. The pods are already all gone, but the captain is still like chilling there. And they're like, fuck, why didn't he go with the pods or whatever? He was basically stuck in that area. The doors were jammed anyway. So he's kind of like, okay. And he was just going to go down with the ship. Like seems like that was his plan. Yep. And he was going to let everyone else try to get, out of there before he did. Again, very Titanic of him.
Yes.
So they were able to get him out. So now we have a fourth member, and then he knew where there was like two other survivors as well, which was like a couple. So that's 6 people right there. They're like, fuck, are we just going to sit here and die? Like, is that the plan? And the captain's like, nah, we're going to take a fucking sea walk to what they call the Roebuck, which is the actual like drill site like area. And there's a whole other facility there. And it hasn't been impacted that they're aware of enough. And it should have like another pods.
The only thing that I don't understand is when they brought up that other facility and he was like, no, it's not there anymore. It's closed off, or it's like whatever. And then they find it and it's there.
It didn't have any pods. I think that's what he was saying was like, like it's just useless for us to go out of our way to go there. Yeah. Because I believe it was called the Shepherd Station or something. Yeah. Because that is what they discussed, is they were like, well, why don't we go to Shepherd Station? It's closer. And then he's like, oh, there's no other pods there either, basically.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, but I also caught that too, because he almost acted like he said it was destroyed, though.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And and then
I was like, is he in on something?
Yeah, and then there is a period where Kristen Stewart's character ends up being a place of reprieve for her. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I also thought the same thing. But then she does say, oh, there's no pods here. But basically she was able to get some air and fucking settle and get her suit back in order. And here's the thing though, because the suits are supposed to be like these welding suits, like people are only in them for like the little amount of time they need to be to like fix anything outside of the facility.
Right.
You're not walking like miles under the sea, you know.
Yeah, it's just for like little quick fixes and coming back in.
Or the people who are welding, probably, you know, and they're probably still doing that in chunks of time. Like I wonder how those jobs work. Like I think I'm gonna Google that later of how underwater welders like do their jobs. Like how long can they be down there do, you know, or in these suits or whatever doing what they're doing.
Probably depends on how much oxygen they
Yeah,
can have in
that's
there.
what. Yeah, I guess so.
Nope, not for me.
Yeah. So basically, they all agree to do it though, and they even say something. I believe the suits are specially made. So, and then some of them have never been in these suits. Like, you know, the one of the women
Research
is
assistant.
yeah, research assistant. She's like a marine biologist, basically. So she's like, oh fuck. This is the one thing I wanted to comment on because because like I said, we have the full cast right now. We have the 6. And the way they introduce these characters, you know, again, Kristen Stewart's going to be your main protagonist. We got the other token woman, basically. So there's not just one woman in it. And they show her again, like, yeah, she's supposed to be not like a welder or anything, and more of the researcher and more like terrified. Like they instantly show her, of course, like screaming, being a little more like scared of things. And then she has her token boyfriend dude who this guy is fodder, like in my opinion. Like
he's the Eric Stoltz of the group in Anaconda.
Yes. Oh my God. You nailed it. Yes, that's exactly what he is. I was not expecting him to be the Eric Stoltz by any means. Like, I thought they were going to kill him straight up. Like, I thought he was going to be one of the first people to die, besides the first guy that Kristen Stewart came across, the Rodrigo character, which he does end up being the first person to die. But they really did. Like I said, they kind of gave me what I was anticipating with having Rodrigo die, but then they totally changed what I was expecting in terms of, I guess, like the kill list kind of, and what you're used to these characters, you know, being used in this way. So again, I thought that guy was going to be fodder. No, he's the Eric Stoltz. His ass just like fucking gets low oxygen and gets carried around by 2 women the entire time. The girl who you are anticipating also like probably dying with the guy or something, you know, or being too scared and like, you know, something happening to her. No, she ends up being a fucking badass until the very end with Kristen Stewart and the Eric Stoltz character, which was very unexpected to me. I really thought the comic relief was going to go a little longer.
I thought so too. No.
They end up killing him. Oh, he's number 2. Like he's like the second to go in the group. So yeah, I really enjoyed that part of this film of them like, yeah, just surprising me with who I expected the order in which the people are going to die.
And then let's talk about the deaths, because I loved Rodrigo's death. That one was so like,
it was awful. Like, because they start showing the glass cracking because he's first up to go. This is when they're all in the suits and they're like, we got to see if this is even going to fucking work, basically. And they're submerging. The facility is going to be blowing its core. So they know they're fucked either way, you know, so you might as well make the attempt to survive. I understand that. And the door is trying to open, but then it's too much. Like there's too much pressure difference. And then his helmet starts fucking cracking. And then, yeah, he just like,
and they just explodes. Know he's going to implode.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, fuck.
Just them going down into the water, like that started getting I'm like, I think I would black out before I would get all the way down there.
Yes, because they showed the marine biologist girl, like, you know, kind of like doing her breathing and like psyching herself up to, and like, you know, she's so scared of going down there. And I'm like, oh my God, I would be too.
I'm like, I think I would have already hyperventilated and blacked out before.
Yeah.
They would have had to just carried my body. I would have been the Eric Stoltz character.
Yeah.
And then the way the other guy got ripped out of his suit, because at first I was like, they broke his leg and then his helmet filled up with blood. Like I was confused about what happened. But then they're like, they just ripped him out of his suit.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think it was just more of they were able to rip the 140-pound metal suit apart. You know, like I think it's that implying that they're that brutal and that capable.
Yeah. They just took his leg and ripped him straight through it.
And then like blood, just everything. Yeah, he just kind of. So that was a good death scene too.
Yeah, unexpected. Also, Because like you said, I didn't remember him dying as quickly either.
Mm-hmm. And in between this time, again, because they're going from their one facility, they're taking their sea walk. Like I said, they lost this dude. It explodes. It kind of separates them a little bit, but they do all converge together. They make it to this other point that they were supposed to make it to. And they see that there was a distress beacon or something that was below the area when they've made it to this other spot. And that was when the comic relief guy, he goes down there, I believe, with the other guy. And they're finding out, too, that basically some of the escape pods did not make it. Like, so you do gain that info, too, that a lot of the people who did, they thought escaped did not escape. And they're like, what the fuck? This is when things are kind of like not quite adding up, of like, was it just an earthquake?
Yes, right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was Cthulhu emerging.
Yeah. Because that's when they start finding the weird shit. Like something's covered in, it was like a weird algae is what they thought. And then they're like, I don't think that's
algae.
Algae. It's the algae.
It's the algae.
And that's when they find the little baby Cthulhu.
Yes. Those things were so fucking creepy. Like, yes. I thought they did such a good job with those.
They did. When I watched that video, they did have like a real little practical kind of effect one where the actor could still interact with it and everything. And they did go over it and they did a lot of re-rendering in this with CG. So it was like, all of the stuff they filmed was real, and then they just kind of polished it off with the CG a little bit.
I think that's okay, because then you still get you get the practical and the
yeah.
CG.
And I think that was able to really mesh it together well for sure. And this is, when you just kind of start seeing a little more like squid people, like I was calling them mind flayers at this point. And that's when I was like, is this going to be Cthulhu? Like, because they are looking like squid people.
But yeah, the way their eyes like shined in the dark, that was super fucking creepy.
Oh, and like the way they do their mouths and like, and they like,
and then they're still like humanoid-esque, which makes it even creepier.
But it was almost like snake-like too. Because there is a scene later where Kristen Stewart is getting like one-on-one with one, and it almost tries to like swallow her whole, like watching a snake, like eat an egg or something.
Yeah. What I did think was a little silly, I was like, that didn't crack her helmet, really?
Yeah.
He can rip her out of a suit, but he didn't crack her helmet.
They did have Kristen Stewart's character say, though, after Rodrigo, his helmet had cracked, which she was saying, I think he thought it was defective, and he basically like, I guess, sacrificed himself. Yeah. But if you knew it was defective, like, why wouldn't you just be like, hey, I'm not going to go, guys. It's okay. Like, because you exploding. Because
then probably the captain would be like, no, take my helmet.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Take my helmet.
Yeah,
no.
That's true. Yeah. So all of this happens around the Midway station. So basically they're midway to still where they need to fucking be. And that's when I started watching too. I was like, oh, this is like, they're supposed to be walking really far, like under this water. So a lot of shit happens. This is when they like actively start getting into the smaller like monsters are full up, like chasing them, hunting them almost, trying to take them all out. There is a scene too where at one point someone drags the Eric Stoltz away. And they end up all getting separated. Some shit goes down. And then basically it was Kristen Stewart and the captain. And they were on that light. Like it was supposed to be some kind of, I don't know, what would you call it? It was like a light crane or, something they're on top of, basically, that when the facility's running, it probably was light for certain drill people or whatever, so they can see under there. So they're on top of it. And that was when you get like the first real look at the monsters. And that's when you're like, ooh, that's like a monster.
Yeah. That's like a monster.
It's like a monster. And then, of course, the captain, though, sacrifices himself for her. And I feel like they showed them having, though, an unusually close relationship. And they also didn't explain that.
I think it was a father-daughter relationship.
And had they just worked together maybe for a long time? And
I think so, because he had said something about his daughter being 14. And she's like, no, she's got to be my age, right?
Oh,
because then she found the picture of his daughter and she was 14 in the picture, because she probably died when she was 14.
Okay.
Because she found the
Okay.
captain's
See,
locker. Oh, and I think that's why he wanted them to stay away, because that used to be his, because it was his locker that she found at that shepherd station.
oh, was that okay? I could not tell when I was watching it. I watch it in my room and it's like a smaller TV.
Yeah.
And my vision is not the greatest anymore. So I couldn't see who was in the picture.
It was his daughter. Yeah. Because she looked on the back and it said like so and so age 14.
Oh, that makes so much more sense. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you for telling me that. That kind of piece that together for me then, because I was like, why is he so like into her, but like not romantic? Like I could tell it wasn't romantic. Yeah, it was just
Right.
like, what is this closeness factor they have? You also eventually find out that Kristen Stewart's character had lost her fiance, I think, basically, right? Fiance?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In a what diving? He was going
Yeah, he
diving
just went
and
diving and
just never came back.
Never came back. And she blamed herself because she didn't go with him.
Yeah, yeah. So that's fucked up.
That is fucked up, because then you don't have no closure. You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. I'm like,
So they probably
well,
bonded over that shared loss,
yeah.
even though he didn't tell her.
No, no.
And she probably didn't tell him either.
Or they still like maybe leaned on each other
Yeah.
without knowing it, for that they were filling those roles for basically
Kindred
each other,
spirits.
maybe. Yeah. So this is when shit gets really scary because at this point, then she's separated. The two groups were separated. The captain dies, and then she gets like blown to fucking wherever.
Yeah.
Like this movie ultimately, it has to make sense and have a plot, and they have to get from A to B. But like in real life, if you were blown so off course from where you knew you were walking and you're in pitch black, like
you would never find the base.
Yeah,
again.
it was just sheer luck that she found like that shepherd base or whatever, So then at least that's how then we know she knows where she is, like obviously because she was at that base. So now she knows locations and where she has to walk from. But like if it had been any other way, I don't think she would have found that shepherd base and she would have just died.
Yeah, she would have ran out of oxygen and then just
Absolutely. But again, for plot convenience, of course, she does find it, and then she's able to run in to the couple, and that girl has been just dragging this guy's ass the whole time. And even Kristen Stewart's character is like, I'm really proud of you. Like, you have done such a good job.
And what was his problem? He just got like what? Knocked out?
I think they said something like his oxygen, like the oxidizer, or they mentioned something to where I think he was getting kind of like dirty oxygen, or like it wasn't clean.
So he was like high.
Maybe, yeah, and unable to like maybe exert, like a lot of effort because he had such little oxygen maybe to work with. Like that's all I can think of because I also was like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, at least try. Jesus.
I know. It kind of like made me mad.
I was like she's essentially carrying like 300 pounds with her.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be 140 suit, and then what a grown man weighs, and she's carrying 140 pounds on her.
Oh, so yeah, that's like 500-600 pounds she's carrying.
Yeah, and I mean, granted, you're underwater, so maybe it's not
still like 300 pounds.
But yeah, like to where this girl, she's just been fucking trying to chug along, and like I think at one point she's like just closes her eyes, is like screaming when Kristen Stewart comes up to her.
Yeah, she's like, it's me.
I know, but she did it.
Yeah, she's like, I just thought I'd just start walking.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm like, good on her. So, yeah, I really love that this kind of ended up being like two female leads,
Mm-hmm.
So they did a good job with that. And finally, we're going to get to the main event. And that's where they are arriving to this drill to try to get these escape pods. And right before they get there, it's just like they have like that red light. And then it's just like you said, like a swarm of, what did you say? Like lampreys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a
like,
shark.
But yeah, like things attached to it or like little symbiotic. And they did say in the behind the scenes stuff as well that they are supposed to be very like parasitic like.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, they seem to be asleep or like hibernating or, something like they're not actively awake. It doesn't look like. But again, they're in these damn suits. And so they're trying to walk through them while she's like dragging the dude, they're both dragging him at this point.
It's like hanging down like meat.
Almost like you're in a meat locker.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they get that was where we discussed the big giant one that like tries to eat her like a snake.
Yeah.
And the way they show her like being lifted up and all that stuff, like it was really well done. Again, if you watch it behind the scenes, you can kind of see also the stunt woman who kind of did more of that part. Kristen Stewart did do a lot as well in her suit, but they did have a stunt girl or woman, yeah, for it. I thought that was a really well done, pretty scary scene with all of them like swarming. And then she was able to get like a flare gun type thing or underwater, kind of gun, I guess. And she like blasted it away. I love that she gets eaten and then blasts her way out.
Yeah.
That was great. Very cool looking. But then, like, okay, yeah, sure. So you blasted that one. And then it shows just all of them around her and all of the eyes and like how big it was.
And you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was good. And it almost like feels like a little bit like The Descent,
Yeah.
Yeah, with the like, ooh, it's in the dog. Monsters are gonna get you.
Monsters in the
dog. Because at this point, she had told the other two, where she's like, just get the fuck in there, like go, like that's what we got to do. And sure enough, though, her friend comes in clutch and fucking grabs her ass inside when they're all like coming. And then that's when you get the big reveal too, because then all of a sudden they all start moving up like out of the way, but then you see the old one.
Yeah. Cthulhu. And then just seeing something that massive under the water.
The idea of behemoths do like really scare me. Like of something that much larger, than you. Like my brain couldn't even like comprehend, I feel like something actually that big. Yeah. Especially someone who like, I haven't been in very like large cities that have like I haven't been to New York City to see like skyscraper level buildings. So even when I go to like other larger cities and I see huge buildings, I almost get like claustrophobic feeling of like oh, this is so much bigger than me, I don't like it. Like I already don't like really large man-made objects. I really don't want a giant like eldritch terror,
right?
Like monster. Like you're like an ant, in comparison.
Yeah, I mean, you're so insignificant. You're like, I'm just gonna shit myself and die.
Definitely.
And under the water and at night, like
everything's dark. No, fuck that.
Yeah, every terrifying thing imaginable.
Yeah, but luckily, like I said, the girl is able to basically save her and get her in there. And they get to the pods, but again, you're seeing glimpses because, of course, there's kind of like observation, decks or whatever. And you're seeing a little more and more of the outlines and they're giving you the hints, but, you're not seeing the full picture again because you're underwater, and it really adds to that like horror element to it.
Not know what's going on.
And yet again, something's defective. One of the pods is defective and she sends them on their way. The other girl is basically like, I'm going to stay and try to help you fix it. And that's when you kind of get more of the story a little prior to that. And then leading up where she's like, I would have done anything to have more time, like with the person I love. So you need to go, with your dude. And so she sacrifices herself so that way they can get out of there. And at one point she's just sitting there and they have like a nice silhouette, and the water is like kind of dripping. I really like the shot. Like it looks really, really cool. And you're kind of like, okay, she's just going to wait there to die. But that is when she kind of sees all of the things are like chasing the escape pods and everything. And she's like, fuck, like I got to do something, I can't just sit here and fucking let them die. Yeah. Like die and then let them die. Yeah, exactly. So she's able to she's going to like blow the core and fuck them all up. And she kind of waits till they get out of the blast zone and she just starts blasting.
Yeah. And I loved the saying at the end too. You lose sense of time in the dark. So let's light this shit up.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah. And that's what she does. It kind of shows, like the Cthulhu is almost like also, I feel like trying to like emerge and kind of maybe stop the escape pods or something. And it shows the blast kind of engulfing it. And that is where it is very ambiguous. Like you almost are led to believe like, oh, was it enough to destroy him? But if it's actually Cthulhu, No, obviously not.
Obviously not, but at least she, like her friend, survived.
Exactly.
She didn't sacrifice herself for totally nothing.
Exactly. Like everything they did down there wasn't for naught.
Even though they were just going to go back to drilling all over again.
Yes, and that is where the ending, again, it's not giving you like a talking exposition. It ends it in the same way it began, with kind of these clippings, and you're getting that information, and you find out, yeah, that they do survive. The couple does. They're sworn to secrecy. They make the whole thing classified, and then they turn around and they're gonna do it again. Well, not those people, but the corporations.
It almost makes me wonder if they kept those people in prison or something.
That would be interesting if, like, yeah, she did do all that and then they were just like imprisoned
because they knew too much.
Yeah. Or like just put in like the loony bin.
Yeah, because the way they were taking pictures of the bunny and measuring the bunny, and I was like, well, obviously he didn't get to go to his parents. And I was like, so, and why were did they think it was radioactive? Like, why were they taking pictures of it?
Well, probably just for all evidence, maybe of anything. I don't know. I don't know if that one was like meant to be read into as much as like the newspaper articles. But yeah, so it does give you, like I said, ambiguous of, okay, did it die or not? But the ending was very believable to me in terms of like, yeah, if something horrific happened, whether it's Cthulhu or just the point of we shouldn't be down there fucking draining the earth of its resources.
Right.
Because they basically say that in the film of like, this is our fault. We fucking drilled too much. We shouldn't be down here. Like, yeah. And he's like, nope, you done pissed me off. I'm not going to let you take more. So I guess we're just waiting for the underwater 2.0. They could do a sequel if they really wanted to. But yeah, I liked it. Yeah, I enjoyed watching it. It was a good Friday night movie. Like, it was very action packed. I would say my only complaint, and this is just me in general with underwater movies, is when it is so up close sometimes when they're doing action scenes. And then to me, I don't find it scary. I just find it kind of aggravating to watch, because it's like bubbles, bubbles, light, light. I get the feeling it's trying to make me feel, but I don't feel that way. I just kind of like, okay, I can't see anything.
I didn't feel like it had that much of that in this, though.
It didn't have that much. And that's what I did. I'm grateful for that, but it still did have it. Like, it's an underwater movie. It's going to have it.
I thought Kristen Stewart was ripped in this. I love her with a shaved bleach head.
Yes, she really could pull it off. Like, yeah, I love the way it looked really good. And with her little glasses in the beginning.
And I was like, fuck, she lost her glasses right away. I'd be fucked.
Oh,
I'd be like, take me now, Cthulhu. I can't see anything.
I wouldn't even be able to see Cthulhu.
No way.
I wouldn't even be able to see that outline. Yeah,
I would have been like, I wouldn't be able to see anything sneaking up on me.
No, absolutely.
It would have been too dark. I'd have to go by feel. Like, I'm basically blind.
Yeah, same. Like, maybe I'd be able to see the light source at least.
I guess I'll just go in the direction of the light.
Like,
it's
if
like
I take
the creature's eyes.
Yeah, if I take my contacts out, it basically is like I'm trying to see underwater. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's how my vision naturally is. Maybe that's why we have such a more of a fear of it, because we already know
what it's like to be blind like that.
Like, yeah. Everything is a horrible blur.
So what is your popcorn rating?
I gave this three popcorns.
I gave it 3.5.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it because it had all my, not all of my fears, but a lot of big fears in there.
Yeah.
That make a good, like, scary thing to me.
I could say I would agree with your rating after I watched the making of and seeing how much practical they implemented with the CG. You know what I mean? Like, knowing how much effort they put into this, I'm like, oh, okay, I could adjust to 3.5.
Also, I take that back. It did have all of my fears in it because there was a spider at the beginning.
Oh my God, there was. Yeah, there you go.
So it had spiders. It had claustrophobia. It had things under the water. It had crushing pressure. Not being able to breathe.
Yeah.
The dark.
I mean, it included mine, which is the fear of, man-made structures falling
collapsing.
apart. Yeah, collapsing. There we go.
falling into the water.
Yeah, so it was a very horrific movie. Yeah, and I do have a fear of like going off a bridge and drowning. Like so, like submerged in water. Yeah, two of my biggest fears.
And monoliths.
Yeah, and monoliths. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, this movie has a little bit of everything.
All your fears.
For all your fears. Exactly. So what would any favorite part of yours?
Yes, and then you asked me and I forgot. What was your favorite part? And then I'll think of it.
Well, like I said, script wise, I like that they surprised me with who was going to survive. I would say though, I think, and maybe the scene, yeah, where it's like trying to eat her, like she's a little egg.
That was a good one.
Like she's a little eggy.
Like she was a little eggy. I like the reveal scene when she first see like the amount of the monsters.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, that was a good one. And then like the reveal of Cthulhu. That's a good one. All the helmet scenes. That was my favorite part. The helmet scenes, when you get that close up of her in the helmet and the way she's breathing, it instantly gives me anxiety.
Yeah. Nice.
So that was a good one.
Yeah, I really like some of the like the cat and mouse almost scenes when they're walking, when you're just getting the glimpses of the little mind flayer monsters, the smaller ones. And there was this one scene, and it was before you kind of got like what they really were. It was when they were walking towards like one of the facility things. And it was in the top left, and you literally just see like an outline. Yeah, but they almost are like human. Yeah. Yes, and they're almost like humanoid. Yeah, like that scene I found like that one legitimately was like, ooh, like that creeped me out. Yes, because then you're like, oh, it's like humanoid, almost like alien like, and then yeah, and
then the way they moved, it was almost to me like a underwater ghost kind of.
Yes,
the faces.
Right. Yeah. So, and like I said, I really only had that one qualm about, sometimes, but again, that was more generality about this genre of film. Other than that, there wasn't like anything where I was like, oh, I hated this character or I hated this part. Every scene was pretty necessary. Like, there wasn't any fat to trim. Like it was good. Yeah. It was a well-paced, good horror movie. Even critically, it did not do well. But on everything online where average people, everyone's rating it themselves, everyone genuinely likes it. Like,
yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah. So I think the critics are wrong about this one, because you can tell it's a labor of love, and they nailed the creepiness and the action packed while also being thrilling and anticipatory.
And they showed enough of the monsters, so it gave it away, but it didn't make you like, oh man, they shouldn't have showed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been scarier if they didn't show it. It was just as scary when they showed it.
Exactly. Yeah, it lived up to the frighteningness that it should be. Like, you should be scared. Okay. And not when you see it, when you are disappointed, you're like, and then like the rest of the movie, you don't find the buildup as scary because the monster let you down.
Yeah.
No, it was good. Yeah, I'm glad you picked this one. Thank you.
Yay, you're welcome.
Well, that was Underwater. And as always, you can find us at Film Gazers on the social medias. There's also our link tree you can find. So you can find some other ways to support us on there. Buy us a popcorn. Again, leave us a review. That really helps too. We would really, 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 really love some Apple reviews. If you could be so kind.
Please, sir.
Please, sir. Can I have a review? Okay. And remember, August starts our Dog Days of Summer. And this does conclude the Big Blue Wet Thing theme.
Big Blue Wet Thing.
And with that, time to hit the dusty trail.
Until next time.
Later taters. Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.